The holiday season is here, and even though the holidays this year in 2020 are very different for all of us because of the global pandemic, we're still getting excited about what's to come. And tonight, Thursday, December 10th at sundown, is the first night of Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights, that's celebrated by Jews around the world. So, Kiyaya and I thought that this would be a great opportunity to share with you the story of Hanukkah by Norma Simon and illustrated by Leonid Gore. It all starts now. Sit back, relax, get cozy. It's story time with Kiyaya and Daniel.
I'm Doozy Bots Dave, and my prices are Doozy Bots. Come into LI Telecom at 2287 Route 112, Medford, New York, or call me at 631-833-9679. I dare you!
Stories are such an important part of our lives. Join my friend Kiyaya and I for Get Cozy, because it's story time with Kiyaya and Daniel, where we share some of the greatest picture books and chapters from children's and young adult literature to inspire you to keep embedding literacy into your days.
Each winter, all over the world, Jewish families polish the Hanukkah menorah until it gleams. Now is the time to prepare for the Festival of Lights. Hanukkah begins on the eve of the 25th day of the Hebrew month Kislev. This day falls at the end of November or sometime during December. That's right, today. Jewish children love the menorah with its small candles that burn during the 8 nights of Hanukkah. The bright lights remind them of the Jews' fight to worship God in their own way. I know you love lighting the menorah with us, don't you, Kiyaya? Well, let's learn a little bit more about this great story. The story of Hanukkah begins more than 2,000 years ago in a land called Judea, nestled between the Mediterranean Sea and the Dead Sea. There the Jewish people lived and worked. At that time, Antiochus of Syria, a neighboring state, ruled Judea. He wanted the Jewish people to pray to Greek gods, as he did. But the Jews had prayed to one God for over 1,000 years, from the time of Moses, and they refused. Yeah, it is a long time. Antiochus decided to punish them. He said they would be put to death unless they gave up their Jewish religion. Antiochus sent his soldiers to the villages and cities. They burned the Jewish holy books and ordered the Jews to pray to the statues of Greek gods. They placed a huge statue of the Greek god Zeus in the Jewish temple in Jerusalem, the capital of Judea. But now it's really not right. People should believe what they want to. Some Jews were persuaded to give up their religion, but most Jews were prepared to die if they could not pray to one God. They could not forget the ways their ancestors had taught them. The Jewish people were in grave danger and in great need of help. Then one day, a leader appeared. He was an old Jewish priest named Mattathias, who lived with his 5 sons in the village of Modin, northwest of Jerusalem. When the king's soldiers marched into Modin, they ordered Mattathias to pray to the Greek gods. The bearded priest shouted, "No!" But one of the fearful villagers stepped forward and said, "I will pray to the Greek gods." Mattathias turned red with anger over the man's betrayal. He seized a sword and killed the Jewish traitor and one of the king's soldiers. Wow, that's tough stuff. Mattathias gathered his people around him. "Whosoever is for God, let him follow me," he commanded. Mattathias and his sons quickly fled Modin and hid in caves in the mountains. Many other villagers left their homes to join the Jewish fighters. Mattathias was the leader of this small band of brave men for many years. Whenever they could, they fought against the Syrian soldiers. Finally, Mattathias grew too old to fight, and his son Judah took his place. Yeah, it's very curious to see what else happens in this story. Judah and his followers were called the Maccabees. Maccabee means hammer in Hebrew, the language of the Jews. Jews from every part of Judea joined the Maccabees, but even so, there were far more Syrian soldiers. Judah Maccabee had to be a wise and clever general. He led his army in surprise nighttime attacks. Before the enemy could strike back, the Maccabees disappeared into the hills. The Jewish army grew tired from the long years of warfare, but they continued to fight and won many strategic battles because they knew the land so well. That's right, geography is really important when you're doing battle. But all the weariness was forgotten on the triumphant day they captured Jerusalem from the Syrians. Judah and his army destroyed the many Greek statues. Destroyed many of the statues of the Greek gods in the temple. They carefully made the temple a house of prayer to one God again. When the temple was ready, the Jews celebrated their victory and the rededication of the temple for 8 days. All the people proclaimed that this celebration should be held each year. So from that time forward, a holiday was celebrated with joy and gladness for 8 days, beginning on the 25th day of Kislev. Later, this holiday was given the name Hanukkah, which means dedication in Hebrew. The story of Judah and his army became a part of the history of the Jews. Yeah, that is really exciting, isn't it? Much later, a legend grew to be part of the Hanukkah story too. On the first night of Hanukkah, the legend says, the priests wanted to light the temple menorah. The menorah's flame would remind them that God was with them. They looked for jars of olive oil to burn the menorah, but only found one small jar with enough pure oil for 1 day. It would take 8 days to make new oil. There seemed to be nothing they could do. I don't know, let's find out what happens, Kiyaya. So the precious oil was poured into the menorah. It should not have burned for more than 1 day, but on the second day, the light still shone. It shone on the third day, and on the fourth. Each day, the oil kept burning. On the 8th day, when the new oil was ready, the menorah was still bright with light. It seemed like a miracle. Oh, it's amazing. In ancient times, most menorahs had 7 branches, but the Hanukkah menorahs we like today have 1 center branch and 8 side branches to remind us of the miracle of the oil that lasted 8 days. The sons of Mattathias were leaders of the Jews for the rest of their lives. As the years passed, Jewish families scattered to other lands near Judea. Still, later some of them settled in Eastern Europe in what are now Poland, Russia, Hungary, and Romania. Wherever they went, they carried their religion to their new homes. Every year, their children and their children's children celebrated the festival of Hanukkah. Many Jews in the United States and Canada today come from families who once lived in Eastern Europe. Yeah, that's right, Kiyaya. That's where some of my family came from. Among the things their families brought to the New World were beautiful Hanukkah menorahs. These menorahs burned oil in small cups. Now, most menorahs hold thin wax candles. They are made of wood, brass, copper, or silver. A few are made of gold. In traditional homes, the 8 nights of Hanukkah begin with the lighting of the menorah. The menorah holds 9 candles. 8 of the candles stand for the 8 days the oil burns in the legend of the first Hanukkah. The 9th is different. It is the Shamash candle. Shamash means servant in Hebrew. Each night the Shamash is lit first. Then it is used to light the other candles. 1 more candle is lit each night. The menorah burns brighter and brighter. The family recites blessings in Hebrew or in English. One blessing is, "Blessed are you, O Lord our God, who did wondrous things for our ancestors long ago at this time of year." Every night the lighted menorah is placed on the windowsill so that all who pass may see the burning candles and remember the miracle of Hanukkah. During the holidays, pounds of potatoes are grated for making latkes or potato pancakes. Eating latkes with sour cream or applesauce is an old Hanukkah custom. Every night after supper comes a time for storytelling and games. The children listen to the exciting story of Hanukkah. They also play a very old game, spin the dreidel. The dreidel is a top. Once dreidels were made of lead, but today they are usually made of wood or plastic. A dreidel has 4 sides. On each side is 1 Hebrew letter, Nun, or Gimel, or Hey, or Shin. These are the letters of the Hebrew words Nes Gadol Hayasham, which means a great miracle happened there. Dreidel is a fun game, Kiyaya. We'll play later after we light the menorah tonight. Neighbors and relatives come to visit. They tell stories about other family Hanukkahs. Young and old voices join in the singing of Mahadzor, a Hebrew hymn that tells of the bravery of the Jews. Many children go to Hanukkah parties at their synagogues. They sing holiday songs in Hebrew, Yiddish, and English. They put on plays and act out the ancient story of the Jews' courageous fight to pray to their own God. Judah Maccabee is always the hero and Antiochus the villain. Gifts of gelt or money are an old custom too. The night the first candle is lighted, Hanukkah gelt is given to the children. Some parents give a small gift each evening. Judea, the old land of the Maccabees, is now part of the land we call Israel. It is the homeland of the Jews again, and Hebrew is the national language. In Israel during Hanukkah, huge menorahs are lit. They shine from high watchtowers, synagogues, and the tops of city halls. People travel to Modin, the town of the Maccabees. They visit the caves where the Jewish soldiers hid many centuries ago. Like the Maccabees, most people want the right to pray to God in their own way. This right is called freedom of religion. The spirit of Hanukkah, the festival of lights, is shared by all people who love freedom. The story of Hanukkah. The holidays are always our favorite time of year. And friends, we wish you and your families, whether you celebrate or not, a very happy Hanukkah, and Kiyaya and I can't wait to share some other great holiday stories in the next few weeks on Get Kozy. But before we go, we've come to the favorite part of our show. That's right, let's get crafty. We would like you to decorate this template of a dreidel that you can download from our website, www.STITCHINGwolfdesigns.com. Make it as elegant and pretty as you like. We hope that you stay safe and healthy and happy this holiday season. And always remember, that's right, Kiyaya, reading is power.